I'm James, and today we're stepping into the stories behind the software and the people that have shaped our world. Last week at the Microsoft 50th anniversary celebration, I had the incredible honor of sitting down with some of Microsoft's most tenured and legendary employees, my coworkers. And among them, a true pioneer, Larry Osterman. With over 40 years at Microsoft, Larry's been a driving force in revolutionizing the way we experience technology. His groundbreaking work on the Windows audio subsystem set the standard for sound technology on PCs, making it both seamless and powerful. But his contributions don't stop there. Larry's career is a tapestry of creativity and technical brilliance, transforming challenges into innovations that have changed the way that millions of us interact with our devices every day. He's not just an engineer, he's a storyteller, visionary, and a role model for aspiring developers everywhere. From behind the scenes breakthroughs to moments of leadership, his journey captures the spirit of Microsoft's legacy and its relentless drive to empower both customers and developers. So join me as I sit down with Larry to get his insights into the past, present, and the future. Larry, honestly, it's an honor and a privilege, obviously, here in front of you. I've seen your face everywhere on every video all the time. Deep in knowledge. I love when one dev questions comes up and it's like, oh, there's Larry, I gotta watch that.
They are so much fun. Oh my gosh, they are so much fun to do. It's like one of my favorite days is when we finally compile the list of questions to go film and I get to go into the studios and film it. It's just so much fun.
Ross and the team
I,
did such a good job.
I love just forgive me, but I love being in front of the camera. It's just it's like it, like the satisfaction of just seeing yourself up there. It's just kind of cool.
I love your love. I love people that love things, and I love software development.
Mhm.
I love this company. I've been here for 9 years, and to see it evolve in 9 years, it's quick,
Oh
right?
my God.
And
The last 9 years have been just absolutely insane with respect to how this company has changed. Um, Profoundly the differences in technologies first off, but also the impact of the changes between Steve and Satya's leadership.
Mm,
They both come to this role with a radically different leadership style, and that has been transformational for for the company um, in a really really good way. Steve has always been a little bit more combative. He's been fundamentally Steve is a sales guy, and he's been a little bit more aggressive and pushing. Satya is a lot more collaborative, and the increases in collaboration that Satya's been pushing so hard for those 10 have just been as transformational and it's extraordinary because it makes all of our collective jobs so much easier to do
yeah.
when you're all trying to work towards the same goal as opposed to sort of competing at some level to do it. I mean, we're all one group, organization, one company, but there was always a level of tension internally that is I don't feel is here as much, and that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
And as I said, the tools, the technologies, the co-pilots. Um,
I do feel that one Microsoft like message more than ever. It's like we cover it all the time internally, but it is really being able to go and talk to anyone. Like, Larry just pulls you and he's like, hey, Larry, like come talk. And then you're here, right? Being able to.
yeah, I mean that's part of the whole thing. Is as I said, he's like, um, I feel more connected with my coworkers across Microsoft. It's not my silo that I live and work in, though, obviously I have my coworkers I work with all the time, but I feel like I can go off and talk to people on the messaging team or the Azure storage team or the whatever the heck team it is that I need to do. Talk to folks over in Windows and they're like, oh yeah, sure, why not? Let's go talk about this. Let's go figure out why this problem exists in your code or whatever it is. It's been great doing that and have that ability.
Well, you talked about, the CEOs. We were just here at the 50th, like with all three of them on stage. Do you have any like magical moments or things that you remember, like interactions with them?
So yeah, you had to ask that one, didn't you?
You brought it up earlier. So
I know,
no.
I know. So when I was interviewing back in 1984, interviewed you lots of companies. I wasn't at all interested in Microsoft. Microsoft was like
Why
me
not?
computers
Yeah, why not?
because I was a big iron person. I
Okay.
worked on DEC System 20s and VAX mini computers, but personal computers, I had no interest whatsoever in that. But you interview wherever you can interview, so what the heck? I get in and I start reading through the literature and I'm like, oh, wait, this is a casual company. ran back to my dorm, changed out of my three-piece suit into a sweater vest and tie so that I would be presentable. I walk in and my interviewer introduces me as some guy named Steve Ballmer. And we proceed to do the interview and he asks me good questions and it was a good interview. But at some point he starts talking about how busy and how heavily overtaxed the computers that they use, which happen to be the same ones we use at Carnegie Mellon. And he's like, oh yeah, the load average sometimes gets about 20 and you just can't use these machines. And I looked at him and I said, are you out of your mind? You have no idea what it's like using a DEC System 20 when 200 students are all trying to compile their final exam project or their homework project the day before it's due. You type a key and 2 minutes later it appears on the screen. That's what a heavy low loading. You guys are so lucky. How do you do that? You just don't know what you're doing. I get out of the interview and I'm looking through the literature a little bit more. And I'm like, oh, head of human resources, because that was what Steve was doing at the time, head of human resources. And I'm like, oh, darn. Well, I guess that's an interview practice and nothing's going to happen from it. Go back, continue on. Next day in my compiler design class, my girlfriend, now wife, comes in and she's like, I have a telegram for you from Microsoft.
Oh my goodness.
And it was, in fact, Microsoft offering to take me out to Redmond, to Bellevue to interview. And at the end of that day of interviewing, I had myself a job at Microsoft. And it's now been 40 years, and somehow they still like keeping me around.
I think what's great about that is like you were true and authentic to yourself, right?
And in fact, it turns out many, many years later, I actually asked Steve about it. And he's like, yeah, because one of the Microsoft core competencies, the core things, value points that pops up a Microsoft employee is courage in your convictions. You believe in what you do and who you are, and you're not afraid to hide who that is.
Yeah.
And that is a message that has always resonated with me. Be who you are, be what you are. And again, back to it. I love the fact that I have that ability, that we can be who we are, whatever that means, and for each of us. So
I always felt like that since I started was that we can bring our true authentic selves and we're respected immediately.
yeah.
Now, getting back to the software, I gotta ask, you have shipped a lot of software in those years. Do you have like, I know if you gotta pick one, but if you pick a few maybe, what's like the favorite thing that you've ever shipped in your years here at Microsoft as far as software?
So Windows 7, my job, I took over the UI for the volume control, for the multimedia, all of the UI for the audio stack. I took over that and did a whole bunch of work on the audio control, spiffing things up, making work. And I also at the time owned the PlaySound API. And so for the very first time, and for I think the only time in my 40-year career at Microsoft, I was actually able to go home in midwinter and say, this is my job. I'm the person who makes Windows go beep. And my mother was able to explain, who's very technically savvy, but my mother was actually able to understand what my job was. And it's the only time in my 40-year career history that I've been able to say, this is a job, this is what I do. And anybody could understand, oh yeah, he's responsible for the ding. The ding that Microsoft makes.
Oh my goodness.
So all-time favorite, simply because it's the only one that is instantly understandable by everybody who's ever used a computer.
I love that. And that story I think resonates. It definitely resonates with me because I've gone to so many family functions. Like, oh, what do you do? I'm a software engineer. Like, what do you do? And then I do a lot of mobile applications. Also, I would pull my phone. I'm like, I make these things happen. Like I make that thing happen. When you can point at it or you can hear it, that connection that the software makes.
I mean, I write client software, client libraries for the Azure SDK written in C++ and Rust. And when I say that, because that is my current job, people go, huh? because nobody can relate. And so I have to do this like really long spiel explaining what an API is and why you use it. And it's because the experiences that we have are not directly relatable to a lot of the people out, lay people who aren't software people.
Yeah.
And so it was lovely to have a job where I could actually say, yeah, yeah, you know that slider thing that you make to change that was me. That was
Yeah,
my
yeah,
job.
yeah.
Because I also own the volume control in
Oh, cool.
Windows.
Oh my goodness.
So like anything involving changing volume, that was my code.
That's cool.
So anyway,
All right.
silly stupid things.
Last question for you, because I think that for me, especially in the last 6 months, how I work has actually changed completely. Like, I feel like every day I'm learning. I feel like I had an instructor, Phil Miller, changed my life because he was the only instructor at my university who taught C sharp, changed my life forever. And it's all I've been doing ever since. He said, "You're never going to stop learning,"
Mhm.
right? What are you learning a day? How are you being transformed by sort of what we're going on right now in AI? And how are you infusing that into every single
I
day?
Two answers to that. The first is I love computers. I love the concept of computer. I love computer languages.
Hmm.
One of the things I did before I joined the current team is I wrote an SDK for the service I was working on in 4 separate languages. So I had to learn 4 different languages. C sharp I knew already, but I had to learn Python, Java, and JavaScript
Wow.
all in the course of about 6 months, and be able to write production level code in all of them in
Yeah.
that time. And then I've spent the past year working in Rust, learning Rust, learning its idiosyncrasies, its idioms, learning how every language has a gestalt, has a feeling. It's palpable when you're using the language. So learning how those languages work, what their feel is, what's their ethos. And
Yeah.
it's weird words to use for this, but they really resonate with me. So that's first off, is the idea of just simply learning new things, new services.
Yeah.
I have spent a great deal of time working on messaging services, which use a messaging protocol called AMQP, learning that protocol, learning how those things work, how they don't work. All of these things have been profound and transformational. On the other half, getting to what you were just talking about also is I could not have done the work that I've done over the past 8 months without the help of copilots, because the reality is that they have gotten me out of a jam, especially in Rust, which is a language which has the phrase I use is it's strongly opinionated.
Yeah.
It's an opinionated
Yeah.
language, and it drops errors in that this should not be an error. Well, learning how to work with that, the copilots have actually helped a huge amount trying to find out how to transform what I want into what is actually something that the Rust compiler will like.
Yeah.
And that has been transformational, for me and for how I do my job,
Yeah.
frankly.
That's awesome. Well, Larry, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Appreciate it as
And
well.
I can't wait to see what the future brings. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for the future. So
It was really awesome to sit down with Larry and just get a few minutes to ask him questions, not just about amazing things that he's worked on, but also where he sees the industry going in the future. It was also great to see his storytelling in action in real time, and it was just a blast. Now, this is just the first in a series of different interviews I had from the 50th anniversary celebration event that I got to attend. So make sure you like, subscribe as well. And if you want more of these stories and you want to actually talk to folks from Microsoft in person, then of course, make sure you register for Microsoft Build, where I'm going to be, and many, many folks from Microsoft as well. It's a great opportunity. There's going to be so many amazing sessions. Like I said, I'll be there not only giving sessions, working the different areas, and hopefully have an opportunity to chat all with you live in person. But that's going to do it for this interview. Until the next one, thanks for watching.